episode of the Non-League podcast. Thanks again for all the support you've been showing recently. It's been greatly appreciated. But let's get straight into the roundup. Let's start with looking back on the games that took place in the FA Trophy and Non-League. So who wants to kick it off?
I will.
Go on. Go ahead, George.
Who do we play? Who do we play again? Fuck.
Southport.
We played Southport. Didn't play the best. You could tell they've not played in 2 weeks. I think it was on Monday they signed like 4 players so they actually could play the season. To play this game. They didn't look very good, but they looked better than us. I'd say we're pretty lucky to go through. I think most fans would. We played well for about 40 minutes. Then the last 60 they were better than us, but we're through to the next round. That's what matters really.
Before I move on to Dan, how do you think Rob Street played?
He didn't start. He came on in about 25 minutes because Josh Moore went off injured. He was bang average.
Okay.
Just say how it is. He was shit.
He's not good enough. I reckon. I won't tell you the truth, but he's not good enough. He gets out-strengthened by a team a league below us. He got bullied. Didn't do enough. I feel like I don't like the sign him anymore. Give him a chance. I say he's a bit too small. Can't hold the ball up. Not physical enough. Happy now, Casey?
Who's just a little bit too small?
He's not small. He's tall, but he's not physical enough. Like he just gets hit.
He's like 6'5", isn't he?
He's 6'2". 6'2". But he's got no muscle in him. It's just getting bullied around by the fence. Like whereas you have Danny Wright and Josh O'Mara, who literally are physical and don't get picked on. I mean, like they're the ones bullying the fucking strikers.
Okay, let's move on from Rob Street. Let's go to Dan. He's going to talk about a game because Kings Lynn obviously were in action due to unfortunate circumstances, but he'll talk about a game he did see.
So yesterday I decided to watch Hornchurch. I'd say against Maidstone. I'll say this much: Hornchurch looked a lot better than when they played us. But then again, that is a surprise because we can't do anything. Yeah, they looked a very good team. They looked like they knew what they were doing. But when they went 2-1 down in the first half, I just thought Maidstone were going to rampage and 4 or 5-1. A few more goals than that, though. It ended up 5-4. Reminds me slightly of the Liverpool-Norwich match a couple of years ago where they won it in the last kick of the game as well. Very good game. Let's hope Hornchurch get a good run because I'm actually rooting for them in this at the moment because they deserve it. They're a good side. Streaming very good for a step 3 side. And that's me out of the way.
Yeah, it was a mental game, wasn't it? Because I wasn't watching it. I was following on Twitter. I had goal notifications on, and it seemed like every minute or so there was a goal going in. Hornchurch went ahead and Maidstone pegged them back pretty much straight afterwards.
Yeah.
And then I think, would you say that the red card changed the game in Hornchurch's favour?
Well, I'll be honest. I didn't watch the entire thing. I was flicking in and out of it. But going by the way Maidstone were playing in the first half and the way Maidstone were playing before the red card even, and then after the red card, you could tell that Hornchurch were just all over them, and that was a beautiful finish to win it for them in the last minute. Cheeky little dink over the keeper. If it went to penalties, I think Hornchurch would have done in there as well. So, fair play to them.
Yeah, I want to wish them all the best too. Obviously, they're now the lowest ranked side left. I hope they do the best they can for the rest of the competition. Should it carry on? Sorry, go on, Dan.
Just want to say also for a team like them, being in the quarterfinals will be massive for them because I don't know what the prize money structure is, but hopefully it's good enough to hopefully keep them afloat during the pandemic. Fair play to them. That's all I can say.
We'll go on to Will next to talk about the game that he watched.
Well, on paper, we probably had the hardest draw out of a lot of them. I mean,
Mhm.
Sutton away on that, they were flying along. And you look at our form, and apart from beating Bromley on penalties, which isn't technically a win, we haven't really won any games since middle of December when we beat Hartlepool. So to turn up to their place, and it was a professional performance. It was, I mean, with these games, there's always a moment of magic, and you've all seen the goal from Napa. I mean, it was
Oh,
brilliant,
unreal.
right into the top corner overhead kick. That's what you need. But I was really pleased with how we defended as well. They have some very good players like David Ajiboye, Harry Beautyman, and Lofthouse at left back, which isn't his natural position, completely marked Ajiboye out the game. Craig Ross only had to make one save of note, and Musa Diarra was brilliant at the back. It was just a really, really good performance. And obviously, we've had 2 plastic pitch draws in a row, so I'm expecting us to get Oxford City away tomorrow to complete the set, and then hopefully we can take this into the league game against Sutton on Tuesday night.
Would a hat trick of plastic pitches in a row be Woking's first hat trick this season?
Oh well, we don't score many goals, so you're probably right there. But in terms of it was really nice as well to see the time wasting at the end, the game management. I mean, we all hate it when it's against our team, but when you're doing it, it's just the best thing. It's like if there were fans in, how rattled they'd be and everything.
On an honest question, do you think that there's no real home advantage at the moment without the fans?
I think at the start of the season there was, because obviously you've got the backing of the fans and everything from home. But as the season's worn on, a lot of games have become a lot more open. Like Stockport playing Weymouth at home and losing 1-0. Results like that, where you think, well, if there's 4,000 in the ground cheering them on, they practically suck the ball into the net. I just think that if there were fans yesterday, we probably would have brought quite a few and made quite a racket anyway. So
Well, yeah, Woking Sutton's literally. I used to live down in Surrey. It's about 20 miles, isn't it?
yes, something like that. And the last time we went, we took about 500. I mean, let's not mention the result because that was a really depressing day. But I think you'll remember that one for New Year's Day. Shambles, pretty much.
Wait, do you want to BT?
No, it wasn't. It's just a normal.
Oh, wait, I'm about to announce it, not me yet.
Yeah, we don't do too well over the Christmas period, as you probably noticed.
Shall we just say it was a classic Woking performance?
Yeah,
Absolutely crap.
A classic Woking Christmas performance. Yeah.
Anyway, are you done, Will? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, in that case, I'll take it to Casey for.
I was going to do that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No worries. I'll just go on, Casey. Take it away with your thoughts on the Notts game.
Yeah, I didn't watch it because obviously I was working. But from what I've heard, we had some really strong individual performances, but there were some that weren't so fantastic. I think Chickson was one of them who wasn't, and he handed in a transfer request, I believe, prior to the game. So why he was anywhere near the squad in the first place is beyond me. But one of the most one of the things that I'm happy with the most out of the game was the fact that Jimmy Knowles got another goal, and he's scoring quite a few recently now. And we went through to the next round, so hopefully we get Torquay and we can beat the league leaders and league winners after 14 games.
We're in your head, lad. We're in your head.
Yeah, just like wait, just like I mean, you know, your mate who said he's sick of me on the podcast. Well, shout out him on the podcast. Little bitch.
Timothy.
Can we let Dan get a word in?
Casey, when the game went to penalties yesterday, I believe it finished. Was it 2-2 or 1-1 it finished?
2-2, mate. 2-2.
When it went to penalties after a 2-2 draw, did you think you'd win it, or were you a bit nervous, like I would be with a penalty shootout?
Well, I saw it, mate, and I was thinking to myself, if we go through, then I'm happy, and if we get eliminated, then I'm leaving the group chat. So that's how I looked at it yesterday. But no, mate, I was obviously nervous because it's a penalty shootout, but we're through. So the nerves aren't obviously here anymore. I'm just looking forward to the next round.
Still, at least you didn't lose 3-0 on penalties to Hornchurch. Suppose that was a bonus.
All I'm going to say here is that Moussa Diarra, if he stayed at Havant would have won that game. That's all I have to say.
All right. Let's move on to.
Can I just say one thing quickly? Before any Torquay fans kick off, I'm not giving Street shit. He's just not good enough for a team who wants to go to get promoted. There you go.
Yeah, that sounds like you're giving him shit, to be honest.
No. What I'm saying is, we're a team top of the table. If you look at Notts County again, Effield, you see Yeovil going to get Reed. We're signing a 19-year-old who I thought would do well for us. He's not good enough. And I'll say it now. You lot said it, and it's true.
As KC said, Roy Hodgson's bitch, isn't he?
Oh, content.
Anyway, shall we let Josh get a word in edgeways now?
Cheers, thank you. So I was gonna move on to one of the. You have to class as an upset. It was Darlington. You have to fairly comfortably run out 4-1 winners against Wildstone. Anyone want to touch on it?
Wildstone are going down. That's all I'm saying.
It definitely looks like it. I mean,
touching on that, we've got to talk about the main news of the week. Dean Brennan.
Yes, I think that's.
He's been mistrusted by his board.
I think the departure of Dean Brennan has definitely played a massive factor in this performance, because it just sounds like they were just completely outclassed.
It was so sudden as well, though. Like, who expected it? We expected him to go to Barnet. He didn't, and then we thought that was the end of it.
It was a bit like when Gannon got the sack from Stockport, isn't it?
Yeah, we'd heard rumours, but we didn't know if they were true. It's the same thing here. I think Wildstone could be that third relegation place.
They're staying up, boys.
If they don't buck their ideas up, they're slipping down the table already. They can't even get a break in the FA Trophy. So what's going to happen when they play decent teams in the league?
I'll call it now. If they beat us Tuesday, if they do, they'll stay up. They'll somehow get form. But we're going to beat them 5-0, so it's fine.
They're going to play more against the team who need the points, and they've just been battered by Darlington. If Wilson get even a point, it's going to be a massive result for them.
But yeah, if Wilson get a point, lads, I'm retiring from the podcast. Just a heads up.
Up the Wildstone then.
Kel's go on.
Sorry, Kel.
Let's let Kel speak first. Go on.
Yeah.
Talking about that. I think Wellstone, the situation is very weird, to be honest. Like, we don't have a real reason why he left, and you could tell the performance on Saturday. Like, what I've heard is just like the players didn't really try. Like, Darlington are absolutely dreadful. Like, and I'll say that because I'm an Article fan, but they are absolutely dreadful. And if you're getting beat 4-1 off them, quite comfortable win, there is some serious things going on. I still think they stay up. I think they've done enough. And also, in conclusion, I don't think Torquay will beat Wilson 5-0. Where they're going to get 5 goals from?
We'll get them from me. I'm going to sign for them tomorrow. I'm going to score 5 goals.
Street, that's for sure.
We said this when
Rob Street won't start. Rob Street will not be starting for Torquay tomorrow. Mark my words.
We said this when Weymouth beat Hartlepool, but isn't it funny how Wilson have just been battered by Darlow, and there's no sign of Alex anywhere?
Yeah, it's a bit convenient.
Yeah.
Going back to what Will said earlier, obviously Brennan got left. Who do you think will replace him?
Gary Howard.
Gary Howard.
I've heard Gary Hill, who used to be Woking manager.
I think that'll be sensible. I think
he's a really good non-league manager. He gets the best out of part-time players.
That'll be a sensible.
that's the sort of. But he's quite a committed guy. Like he'll only go if there's like a decent amount of money. If he gets told we're skint, we can't get any players in, it's not for him.
Because I read a rumour, Peter Beadle, the old Barnet manager.
Yeah.
I can't see that happening, but if it does, then that really is just surely dooming Wealdstone to relegation. No.
Or could it be another Hampton and Richmond raid? They wait till
I am
next year.
I am a bit skeptical about that. It's particularly if National South goes null and void, then I am a bit worried that they'll poach Gary McCann. I genuinely am, because he's been talked about on. I was reading on their forum as well. He was one of the names that was mentioned by Wilson fans as well. So yeah, here's something I'm a bit skeptical
Plus,
about.
he's proper local as well, isn't he? He
He
managed
is,
Penton,
yeah.
which is practically next door. So
Whilst we're on the topic of Hampton and Richmond, we never let Josh mention the game.
Of course. Yeah, I'll talk about our game. So we were, first time in 2 weeks, went to Tunbridge, and in the few days leading up, Tunbridge were saying a bit, not chatting, but making questions about whether they should be playing or not. They were a bit reluctant to play. Eventually, the game went ahead, and it was a fairly straightforward win in the end. We scored after about 25 odd minutes, where Charlie Wasmer got the first one. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead of myself. Wasmer headed in from across after some bit shoddy Tunbridge defending, and then the second goal, David Fisher just pretty much was played through, where I was not marked by any Tunbridge player. He went round the keeper and tapped it in. And then Tunbridge didn't really offer anything really. Their best chance was probably just before half time. They had a free kick that just skimmed the bar and went over. And then pretty much right after the restart, we made it 3 and ended the game once and for all. Rory Donaldson headed in at the back post. And yeah, Tunbridge didn't really offer much fight. You could tell they were a side that were down the bottom. But yes, it was a massive win for us. Dan?
I just want to give, I think, Billericay a shout out. Drew 2-2 with St Albans.
Massive shout out.
Despite playing, it was mostly kids and non-contracted players, weren't it?
Oh, and they played on Friday, the first team.
Their first team on furlough, yeah.
Oh yeah,
and
I thought so.
And
the quality of opposition as well. St Albans second in the league.
They've only lost
Technically on points per game, top of the league if you want to look at it like that. And to play a team like that, who've been together for ages, who've been flying up the league.
What did it end? What was the score in the end?
2-2.
That's
And
not real, to be fair.
Billericay actually went 1-0 up.
I
Yes,
thought once St Albans equalised, it was going to be like 5-1 or something, because a young team, they're going to collapse. But they hung on in there. They fought till the end.
A young team like that coming in with no pressure, which is absolutely really like the worst team to play, really, isn't it?
A result like that must be so satisfying because it's completely deserved. And it almost feels like a win.
Too.
It's another instance of non-league just doing all non-league fans proud, isn't it?
Yep.
Because you don't see non-contracted players playing in teams in League 2 upwards. So just seeing that kind of result just makes every non-league fan proud, in my opinion.
I agree. Is there another game someone wants to mention? Try to talk about? Okay, I think I'll take that as a no. Then we'll move on. Then move on to the ongoing situation with the league and the finance and the funding situation. Anyone want to try and explain the latest developments with it? Go on, Will.
Seems like we're talking about this every week, and the circus never ends, does it? But
No.
Dover's chairman's announced he's resigned from the National League Board because he doesn't follow their views or something, because he's very strongly null and void. Whether that's because they're 23rd in the league and stranded, or because they're skint, it could be a bit of both. I mean, the fact is that the testing kits that they're giving out makes it a lot more appealing to carry on. And it looks like National League South and National League Prem want to carry on.
Mhm.
And National League North are just holding that grudge.
The
I
thing
mean-
about sorry, yeah.
The biggest shock to me was that Concord's chairman, Anthony Smith, changed his mind completely
Oh yeah.
about playing the season because he'd been so strongly, let's suspend. And now he's paid for their testing and now he's fine with it. And it just goes to show you put a little thought into it. You look a bit deeper. And I mean, fair play to him. He's completely gone against everyone else. And I mean, they're 16th or whatever in the league, so they don't really have much to play for either.
No.
It's a really, really good step from him. Go on then, Dan.
Good, gone down.
Just want to quickly touch on what you were saying, Will, about testing. It's all good having the testing in, but it's all lateral flow testing, isn't it? Which I believe provides results in half an hour. So it's all good doing that, but if you do it on the match day instead of, say, the day before, and one result either comes up as positive or inconclusive, then it doesn't give the travelling away team much time to get prepare, if that makes sense.
That was the whole issue with Chesterfield yesterday, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one of their players felt unwell, and it's just come back that the result's positive, and they're going to have to forfeit the tie. And it's the first COVID case that we've had in the league for a while, which shows that the testing's working. But you shouldn't be doing it on a match day. I mean, you don't just suddenly
Day before.
you don't just suddenly feel symptoms or whatever.
VAR stop the court decision.
But of course, with Chesterfield, they obviously they were vaccinated. Some of the players were vaccinated early on in the week, and then obviously they've tested. Someone's tested positive, which makes it a little bit ironic. But go on, Dan.
I'm seeing on Twitter and on social media and stuff, people have a problem with them being vaccinated. But if it's the Pfizer jab, which once defrosted out has to be used, otherwise it has to be thrown away, surely it would just make more sense that if they'd done all their rounds for that day and there was people nearby that needed doing so, such as the players, surely it would just make sense to get them done quickly, would it not? Because people are moaning about it, but I don't see an issue with it.
Yeah. I mean, if they were offered to them, and they were spare or whatever the term was, then I don't see a problem with them being vaccinated. Personally, I agree.
I can see that argument though, like in a way, like why are footballers in our level getting it over like important people who need it? But like it's not that deep though. It's not something like to get upset about. All I'm seeing over Twitter is people kicking off about it. But if you got offered, I'd do it. I'd take it. Would you? Like, can't blame them. Can't blame the club or the players. They got offered it.
I don't see the issue. It's better than them getting a load of stick for lobbing them in the bin, isn't it, at the end of the day? So,
Exactly.
6 of 1.
I think that's pretty much it in regards to the latest update. Obviously, it's an ongoing issue.
Oh, just want to quickly add in, Lynn released a statement on Friday, I believe, saying that they voted for resolution 1s, 2 and 4. Not that it means much to me, but I believe it means null and void, just pretty much null and void, which in Lynn's case I can understand because Cleve said himself he doesn't have much money. But he also suggested the idea that he wants the league to also continue, but see if Lynn can drop out. What's anyone else's thoughts on that?
I feel like if you're getting dropped, I don't know. I think situations are hard because if you can't financially afford to continue, then understandable. But I just feel like a club like Lynn surely can continue. I don't see why they want to drop out.
Because we're not in the red, but we've not got the most money in the world either.
And the only way I see that as working is that Lynn obviously forfeit the rest of their fixtures. and whoever they've still got to play get the 3 points, and
Yeah.
that's Lynn's season completely finished. And if they end up in the relegation zone at the end of it, then you go down. That's the only way I can see. That's the only way I can see it, like, being fair. You can't just drop out a season in the middle of it.
Exactly.
The
only other way it would work is if the North and South both null and void, which, going by what I believe Will said earlier, South don't want to now. But if the North null and void, then surely if the league goes to clubs in the National League proper, ask if they want to drop out for the season due to financial terms, and then, go back next season only if step 6 null and void. Give the rest of the clubs the 3 points, as you say, Casey, and be done with it all.
Speaking of the resolutions, I believe there was 2 national sub clubs. I think it was Havant and Eastbourne who actually voted against the resolution 1. I believe that's right. So they want the 2 National League and National North and South to be judged as 1 league in particular. I know there's a lot of people are very much against that. Go ahead, Will.
I personally just think it's dragging us into their situation. It's a bit like League One saying, well, if we have to avoid, the Championship does as well. And it's like, on that, you can see their argument for it. They don't want to see players under the same banner playing while they don't. But at the same time, there's such a massive gap between North, South, and the actual National League itself that it just seems a bit of a selfish move, because there's a massive gap between the likes of Notts County, Yeovil, Torquay, Stockport, and Eastbourne Borough, Hungerford, Farsley Celtic, and all of those things.
Well, it's the National League proper is pretty much a fully professional league, isn't it? North and South are semi-professional. It's the only way you can really describe that one, isn't it?
Yeah. Anyone else got anything to add?
I just feel like they're not elite, so I feel like they should get an elite badge took off them, because like we're all full time, they're not. Like, how do they expect to be put in the same league as us, same level, voting wise? Makes no sense.
Because at the end of the day, George, I think they just want to treat it as all six clubs in 1 league instead of 23 here, 20 whatever there, and 21 in the South, which is fair enough.
But the thing is, though, North and South can't afford to continue without fans, without money, whereas our league can, most of them. Like 75-80% teams can, so that's my point. I feel like it's a disadvantage for us if we all actually voted together. You know what I mean? Because if they voted null and void, we all did as one, I just feel like it wouldn't be fair.
I think a lot of clubs are looking towards other organisations like Sport England for funding now, aren't they?
I know. I'm really keeping up to date.
Fair enough, mate.
Okay then. Now, obviously, we're going to have another recap. This time we're going to look at Tuesday's games that went on in the National League.
Fuck's sake.
I think by judging by that reaction, we'll start with George.
We were shocking. What even happened? We're 1-0 up by a sloppy goal from Carl Cameron. Like, terrible. We were terrible for 90 minutes. This loss has been coming for weeks since the Yeovil win. Since this loss has been coming for a while. We haven't been good enough. I just say we got well beaten by the better team. We're missing Danny right to injury. I just feel like we were just terrible, and I don't know where it ended. I feel like if we play like that on Tuesday, we'll get beat by Wilmstone as well. Casey?
Here we go.
Go on, Casey.
Comes the content.
This is like fine wine to me.
I can't wait till you start listening again. It's going to happen, mate. You're not unbeatable.
You just said that you've conceded a sloppy goal through Cameron.
We scored. We scored.
No. You banged on. Oh, you scored. Well, good on him. He didn't do much in preventing them from scoring twice, did he?
No, the first goal was a fucking sloppy penalty.
Who gave it away?
Sam Sherry. He didn't have to do
Who
that.
you also said was one of the best defenders in the league. Am I right or am I wrong?
Excuse me? He's good, but not one of the best.
All I'm saying is,
didn't you say he should be playing in like League One?
I reckon we win Tuesday, we win Saturday, we're back in it. If not, it's your title to lose.
You just said you'll be back in it.
If we win the next 2 games, we will. But if not, we're not going to. I reckon we win anyway.
You're sat top of the league and you're saying that you'll be back in the title race if you win your next 2 games.
Yeah, I convincingly, but I can't say it. We need a new striker if we want to win. But absolutely woeful on Tuesday. Terrible. Against a part-time club, we're meant to be top of the table.
All I'm saying is.
But games like teams against Altrincham are some of the easiest games to lose, George, because you go in there thinking simple as going to be a 2 or 3 goal win, and you end up losing.
No, my worry is.
Do you know why they lost?
What?
Do you know why they lost? Because they are dog shit, and they are overachieving, and they are mid-table at best, and they are shit.
They have a lack of experience.
No, we have experience, but we rely. I'll tell you what it is. When we sign players at the beginning of the season, our main strikers are meant to be Danny White, Andrew Nelson, and we bought
37 years of age.
Yeah, and we bought Josh Murray as third choice. Andrew Nelson hasn't kicked a ball in the league yet. He's good. Danny White's been classed for us. He's good, and it's all falling apart. We played too many games, and I don't know.
Everyone's playing too many. George,
George, are those real tears I'm hearing?
I'm not crying. I mean,
you can't say that. You can't say you played too many games.
I didn't mean that. I mean, we played a lot of games. We've done well, but we're missing Danny Wright. Our whole team, we don't look like a team. We're trying so many situations, but we rely on a 19-year-old. We need a striker, else
you sound a bit like Woking last season without Jake Hyde, and we ended up finishing 10th. So at this rate, Torquay are going to end up finishing 10th.
It's where they belong anyway, Will. That's where they belong. Let me tell you one thing, and tell you one thing right now. When they beat Barnet the other weekend, they acted like they won the fucking Champions League on Twitter. The Champions League.
Oh, here
when
we
they
go.
play.
No,
when they play. Right, listen. They played 3 playoff sides in the last 5 weeks. LE, Notts, Sutton. Out of them 3 games, they've got 2 points out of 9. They are shit. They are not winning the league.
Yeah, but you didn't get 3 points as well, so come again.
Do you know what? Torquay fans remind me of Liverpool fans until about 2 years ago.
What do you mean? We're not nowhere near them.
No, just fucking delusional.
How should we're not delusional. We don't think we're going to win the league.
What do you mean you don't?
We should do. Beginning of the season, we're currently first. We should we were predicting. We were saying we're going to finish 10th in the league this season. We're top table. We're enjoying the moment. We aren't expected to win the league.
So you're top of the league and you're not expected.
No,
George.
Let's be real now. That table is a false hope. If they would play 6 teams, we'd be top by probably 1 point, if that.
Anyway, other teams did play games last Tuesday.
Wait, but one more thing, Dan. One more thing. How you just said, I don't expect to win the league. In the fucking group chat when you were 13 points ahead, you were fucking running up your mouth. Oh, we're going to win the league. We've won the league. 14 games. As soon as
I know so. You know yourself. I was joking with that.
And that bloody Torquay fan.
Wait. On the Facebook page, I literally rattle everyone. It's banter. I realistically tell our fans every week.
George, the way you're carrying on is going to make Chernobyl look really, really small and nuclear disaster.
George, this is the thing. You just said how you lot can banter everyone else. You lot can banter everyone else. You told me before we came on here, some bloody Torquay fan has said he's sick of me on the podcast. Well, he can fuck off, can't he? Little bitch. How about that? I'll come on here and voice my opinions. And if you don't like it, turn it.
We're in your head, mate. We're literally in your head. It's funny.
You're not. You're the only team now. mate, I've said it for weeks. You're bottling. You
How
played
is
three
what?
playoff sides.
The table is close.
You played 3 playoff sides in the last 5 weeks. You've not beat any of them. You've scored once against them in 270 minutes. Shit.
Yeah, but
overachieving, shit. Next
He's now scored 1 goal. When? Who have you scored?
You scored 1 goal against Elty. Fucking look at all them claps. I'm looking out my window now, and everyone's clapping for Torquay United, who won the league after 14 games, and then only scored once against 3 playoff sides.
Yeah,
Well done, Torquay.
George, can I just give you a bit of perspective here, son? You didn't even beat Kings Lynn. You do not deserve to win the league. Come on.
They did not even beat Yeovil. They did not beat
didn't beat
Dagenham.
They didn't beat Yeovil.
Yeah, we did.
I'm looking forward to Saturday.
You did not beat Yeovil. You
Yeah,
did
we
not
did.
beat
We
Yeovil. I'm talking about the most recent game. They beat you 2-1. They beat. I don't care if you beat them 6-1. They beat you 2-1.
Don't try to say we didn't beat Yeovil. We clearly did.
What was the score last time you played them?
Yeah, we lost 7-2. Well done.
You didn't beat them. You didn't beat Dagenham.
Hang on.
Dagenham.
Hang on.
You fucking laugh at that.
So far in 2021, what have your wins been? Like, what have your positive results?
I can confirm for you that Torquay.
Bournemouth and Barnet.
So Bournemouth threw themselves out the trophy.
And we beat them. Yes, we won yesterday as well. Yeah.
So let's put this in perspective. You beat a team who don't have any fans, and you beat a team who are just sitting at the bottom half of the table.
You're trying to look favourable.
2 of those games win the FA Trophy. These didn't care about the FA Trophy fucking 4 weeks ago. As soon as they start winning in it, they care. Well, I tell you what, you're going to draw Notts in the next round. You're going to get fucking battered, and you're going to bottle the league because you're shit overachieving and you're rubbish. Now let's go on to the next game.
George,
All
just
right, can I
quickly.
speak for a second?
Yeah, look, guys, calm it.
Yeah, come to 5-0, guys. Come on,
Let Kel speak. Go on. Let Kel speak. Go on.
All right, for about that game, yeah, Torquay got beat. All right, we understand that Torquay haven't been in the best form at the moment. They haven't really been scoring goals. They've been struggling to score goals. But I still think they are a solid team. Of course, I would say that because they battered us 5-0. Sure, they're at a bit of not the best form at the moment. But to be honest, I still see them being up there this season. Honestly, I don't have a clue who's going to win it this year because every team in this league, in my opinion, don't deserve to win the league. Torquay don't because they've just dropped too many points. We don't deserve to because we lost to Wellmouth and got beat 5-0 at Torquay. Notts have just been far too inconsistent. Sometimes we beat them in Notts. So I don't think any team deserves to win the league at the moment. So I'm very interested to see who actually wins it. So if Torquay wins it, then fair play to them. If any other team wins, then fair play to them. So I think we should just all calm down and relax.
Can I say one thing as well? I feel like if we get a run and get start scoring goals, we'll be fine. We score more. We usually score more than we can see. But
Well, hold on. Let me just
we haven't. So now it's costing us. That's our issue. We're not scoring enough goals. So it's costing us. But I'm hoping this is just a rough patch. But it is concerning. You're right. But there's so many games left. Anything can happen.
All I'm saying is, you look at all the signings striker-wise in the National League. Chesterfield got.
I have said this, by the way. Just let you know.
Chesterfield signed. Who did Chesterfield sign? What striker was it?
Akwasi Asante.
Lost it. Yeah.
No, it was more recent than that.
This
week.
Adi Yusuf.
That's him. Yeah,
that's the one.
Tuesday night.
So he's gone there. Wrexham have got Dio Angus. We signed Effie on. Bloody Yeovil signed Ruben Reid. And Torquay, attractive free-flowing football under Gary Johnson. Oh, Roy Hodgson's fucking teenage wonder kid. Oh, well done, Torquay. And they wonder why they can't score goals anymore. That's why I disagree with you, Kel, about strong side. He's just said they can't score goals. What they do?
No, the thing is, though, I'll tell you what it is. We rely heavily on Danny Rice. And Danny Rice injured. Whitfield's been shit. Evans has not been the best. The whole team is literally falling apart for one.
Hang on. Let's play a game. It's called Where's Whitfield? so-called best player in the league, and he's gone missing for the last 5 weeks or whatever.
I do that, yeah.
So this
But
is the guy you were saying was better than Cal Roberts.
It's been mad because the whole team is relying heavily on Danny Wright, and it's a worry because you look at Met.
Well, they still have some solid
Let's move
players.
on.
Sorry. Does anyone else want to say something? I just want to. I was quite enjoying you having a debate. To be honest, I think Dan wants to continue. Go on.
I just want to really gloss over something that's annoyed me really. Obviously, the game on Tuesday, Chesterfield, versus Lynn, called off. Don't actually have an issue with that. One thing that really did annoy me, I got an email a couple of days ago saying I'm entitled to a refund for a stream pass, so a tenner back. And today I look on my emails and it's given me a streaming code for any Chesterfield match for the rest of the season, saying that it can't do refunds.
To be fair, mate, it's better than anything you'll ever watch at Kings Lynn this season. Let's be honest.
I was going to say the game getting postponed was a blessing in disguise, definitely. But on a serious note, someone who's on furlough like myself, I'd quite happily take that tenner back instead of having to just watch Chesterfield versus Aldershot or something random like that.
Well, you may as well watch him. You may as well watch Chesterfield play Torquay because you know that's going to be an entertaining game because
I love it.
They don't beat anyone at the minute if it's not inside the FA Trophy.
Well, I suppose I will see a few goals for Chesterfield.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Exactly.
And
then George bang on about fucking 37-year-old fucking male Gemma Collins on his timeline.
You may also see a Rob Street masterclass, maybe. You never know.
You got more chances. George and I having a meltdown on the podcast.
I'm chilling.
Anyway, Will, you got your hand up?
I was just going to say about a big transfer in the week. Tyrone Marsh going back to Boreham Wood. Instant impact. He scored against Maidenhead in a 1-0 win. Shows their intent. They've obviously had massive. They've basically made a profit out of COVID with the money they've got from the government. But I mean, they're putting it to good use. They've already got one of the best defences in the league, and now they've signed another really good attacking player. 18-month contract. I expect to see them in the top 7 this season.
Top 7 for Boreham Wood. I think top 7 is a bit too much. I'd go top 10. I can't see them finishing playoffs, in my opinion.
No, they did it last season. They'll do it again. Top 7.
Did they do it? I didn't focus on the National League proper last season. I was focusing on the North, to be honest.
You'll be focusing on the North next season, by the sounds of it.
So will you, mate, by the looks of it.
Let me think. Wealdstone, Dover, Barnet down. Look, I think we'll stay up because I just think Wealdstone, Barnet, and if Dover keep on, Dover.
Dan, I've got a question for you.
Yes.
Are you going to be back in Torquay on Tuesday then?
Pardon?
You're going to be back in Torquay on Tuesday then?
Why would I back Torquay on Tuesday?
If you want Lynn to stay up.
Who are they playing?
Torquay.
No, who?
Wealdstone, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, Wealdstone. Oh, let's hope there's a Rob Street masterclass then.
I doubt he'll play, by the way. He comes on, but
no.
It could be decided before then anyway. By the sounds of it, all the clubs that are voting null and void in National League North and South, there might not be any relegation. And in that case, for us lower bottom half teams, the rest of the season just becomes glorified friendlies.
Dead rubber.
I mean, would you take it? I would.
At the end of the day, it's game time, and it's still possibly, if fans can go back in, it's still seeing teams that I never dreamed would be at Lynn. Teams like, well, not because that's in 2 weeks' time. Let's hope that game gets postponed. Sorry, Casey. Just don't want to see us lose 7-1.
Mate, the best thing that'll be the best thing that can happen to Torquay if our game gets postponed because
game in hand.
We can actually beat teams at the minute.
I think, I don't know why, but whenever Lynn play the big sides, they seem to just show up a bit more. So I'm not saying we'll beat them. I possibly nick a point.
That's why you beat Woking, isn't it? Because big side, you know.
Who got those 3 points again, Will? We're contractually obliged to mention him every week.
Oh, Jamal Loza, yeah.
Yeah.
He was back on the bench on Saturday, so hopefully we'll see more of him.
What was up with him? Because I read somewhere he missed the game because of a puncture or something on his car.
I think he had an injury as well, so.
Oh, fair enough.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah. I just want to ask a kind of question just before we move on. Obviously, Hartlepool's game at Halifax was again postponed. What's your reactions on that?
It was deservedly postponed, to be honest. Like I did put on Twitter myself the fact that we just need to be patient at this point, because I think 2 out of the 3 postpones were like fair postpones. I still, even though it was an hour before kickoff, I understand that it was a completely different pitch according to our manager. But at the end of the day, we just need to be patient, and hopefully we'll get the 3 points when we do play.
At the end of the day, at the moment, we're now coming towards that time where we're going to get games called off because of snow. We're going to get games called off because of waterlogged pitches, and there's nothing we can do about it. So, but do you think Halifax could have done something like what Notts did, I believe, last Wednesday, was it, or Tuesday, and just tried to dig all the snow off the pitch, or was there too much there?
I think there was a bit too much, to be fair. I think we always had a look at the weather before, like the game, and it was just snowing, and it was continuous snowing during, I think it was Monday, and then Tuesday morning there was still snowing as well when the game got called off. So it was deservedly postponed. I don't think they couldn't do anything about it. Of course, some Hartlepool fans are going to complain just to complain because they're going to say that they're scared. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, and hopefully we get the game on as soon as possible.
Fair enough, mate.
And just before we move on one more, I want to give a shout out to, he's a Solihull fan, Callum Mulryan, who's regular comments on the videos on YouTube. So thank you very much, mate. And I just wanted to mention Solihull. Their result yesterday, they got a draw at Eastleigh, but a late equaliser from Joseph Barr to earn them a point. What are your thoughts? Do you think they're still in the hunt for promotion? Because they've obviously got a few games in hand.
They've got five games in hand over Torquay, so I'd say you can't really rule them out. Who are their games in hand against them? That's the big question. But
one of them's against us tomorrow. Tuesday. Sorry, we verse them on Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll get on to the preview of that in a bit. But yeah, go on, Will. Your thoughts?
Well, we played them first game of the season, and they were very hot title favourites, and they've got some very good players. They just seem to be a bit weak away from home. They've got the best home record in the league. They've always been really good at home. They make it a fortress, but away from home, there's just something about them. They're just a bit weak.
They're 19th on the away table.
I can see them missing out on playoffs because of their away form. But if they sort that out, then top three's in access. It's that tight.
Well, Lynn played Solihull, I believe it was 3rd or 4th game in the season when we were finding our feet really in the league. They beat us 5-0, which I'd prefer not to continue talking about. But yeah, they're a good side. I think they're capable of playoffs, more capable than Boreham Wood is, I believe George suggested earlier. So just see what they can do, really.
I've just checked the stats. Their top scorer scored 4 goals. So I don't think they haven't got strikers who stand out this season as they usually do. I feel like I reckon they'll come mid-table. Can't see them getting playoffs. But yeah, usually they're always up there. But I feel like they haven't got a team this year. No standout team, if you know what I mean.
Okay, let's move on. We've spent a bit of time on that. Let's move on to transfer update around the league. Anyone want to kick us off with the update?
Yeah.
Go on.
Well, we haven't actually had any transfers, but just want to say it was good to see yesterday. Former Lynn player Simon Power left probably a couple of weeks ago for Harrogate, get a goal yesterday. Very well taken goal. And if I can be honest with you, I can see that lad playing in the Championship in a couple of years' time. He's got so much pace. I think Lynn are going to miss him, to be honest. So I think that was a good thing to see.
Anyone else want to have a?
Right, we signed Joe Lewis from Swansea, who's on loan with us last season. He's probably, being realistic, he's probably our only good signing in January. Everyone else has been terrible. I'm surprised we signed him. You can either get into League Two club, League One, but he wouldn't come down here again because he's friends with everyone and he's comfortable here. He's probably one of our best centre backs. Can play like in defence and in the middle in midfield. He's a class on him. Yeah, that's about it. The only one who signed up for me, to be honest.
Okay, Kel.
We signed Tom White, a midfielder who was playing for Bolton. He's got experience for a 23-year-old lad, and he's also a local lad, as he used to play for Gateshead when he was younger. So I think he'll be another good player for the squad. He's got experience in the Football League and also experience in the National League, so I think he'll be a good signing.
What? Dan again?
Did we mention last week Lennell John Lewis to Grimsby?
Yes, we did.
We did. Okay, that's my point done with then. I couldn't remember.
All right. If anyone else wants to mention a transfer before I move on quickly towards the end. All right. In that case, we'll go on to the preview for Tuesday's games. And if anyone wants to kick off with their team for 3, go ahead.
We have Wilton at home. I think they're bottom on form table. We're like 17th. Both teams need the points. I don't think I'll be saying that, but I'm not confident. I'm just not. I feel like I can see us get niche. I'm stealing a goal, but apart from that, I just feel like I can see it being like a dead 1-0 game or 2-0 game again. So yeah, that's what I can really say on it. Casey, who you got?
We've got Dagenham Redbridge at home, and unlike some people, I don't see us losing to Dagenham at home.
Dagenham, I think, will be a tough game for you.
Up the Paul McCallum, come on.
Well, I mean, people who are around the top of the table, Dan, have shown that it's a tough game, this fixture, considering some lose 1-0 to them at home. But, you know, I think we'll win it. And, as for Torquay, I don't think they're going to win their game. So, even better for us, mate. Even better for us.
Kel
next, yeah.
We have got Solihull Moors at home. They're on half decent form. They're unpredictable side, but as you're saying, they don't really do well on the road. Away to teams, so I'm hoping that we get the 3 points. I think we can't slip up at all because I think we're now 4th in the league now with teams playing their games in hand over us. So I think we really need the 3 points at the end of the day, and hopefully keep pressure on the teams above us.
Will, obviously you mentioned Woking have a repeat of yesterday's game at Sutton, this time in the league.
Yeah, once again, Sutton. Obviously, yesterday we were very good. Can't say the same about the stream though. I mean, apparently Moussa Diarra is 36 years old and a free kick expert, so we'll have to see if he can pull one out the bag on Tuesday night. But I think it will be maybe not a lot tougher than yesterday, but they're going to want a response because they were frustrated yesterday by us. They were all over the referee. They were very disappointed at the end, at the final whistle, and I think they're going to want a lot more from their players. And obviously, two of their players were injured yesterday and had to be subbed. Mainly Isaac Alafe, who is a very good striker in line for Millwall. So if he doesn't play, I say we have a fair decent chance of getting a result, which we need because we're in bad form in the league.
Right, and move on to Dan on his thoughts on Kings Lynn's trip to Bromley.
Yeah, I think just looking at yesterday's game, Weymouth Bromley. Bromley obviously had a couple red cards. Chris Bush and Charlie Wakefield. I believe they also have a couple injury problems from before that game. Played them earlier in the season. They beat us 4-1 at home. So I'm going to go with a classic old 0-0 draw. I don't think we'll beat them, but I think we can nick a point off them. I'll be happy with a point.
Does anyone else want to mention any particular game that catches your eye for tomorrow? Or Tuesday, rather?
Bear with a second, I'll just see what's going on.
Yeah,
I think Altrincham and Wrexham.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good game. Because
sorry, go on.
I think Altrincham will still be feeling pretty good after their win at Torquay last week, while Wrexham beat Lynn and then had 2 draws in a row. My money's got to go on Altrincham for that game. I think it'll be a good game. It just depends whether the game will go ahead, because I know the pitch at Altrincham isn't very good, is it? So.
Okay, Cal, go on.
A game that's caught my eye is Weymouth Boreham Wood, because of Weymouth's good form at the moment, and Boreham Wood winning at the weekend and looking more up than down. I think that'll be an interesting game, which I think for a new show will be a good watch.
It would definitely help Weymouth's survival bid as well. It would be a massive 3 points if they can get a result there.
And
sorry, go on, after you.
Eastleigh Yeovil. I'm going to just let someone who actually knows what will happen in that game discuss, if anyone wants to discuss it.
I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
I mean, Eastleigh have an outside playoff chance beside the Yeovil. Yeovil are on the better form. Eastleigh have a lot of games. Eastleigh are 10th. Yeovil are 19th. But Yeovil are on the better form. It's going to be quite even. I don't think either one of them will make the playoffs. So it could just end up being a dead rubber in the end. But Eastleigh's quite a tough place to go, and if you've ever been there, you'll know their pitch is absolutely atrocious as well.
Yeah, so, I can confirm.
Yeah, absolutely shocking. I wouldn't be surprised if the game's called off with the weather we've been having down here.
In regards to fixture on Tuesday, there's actually just been confirmation as we speak that Aldershot Chesterfield has been postponed because of the COVID issue they had, that which saw their game postponed on Saturday. So that's one less game that's going to be played. But in regards to other games, I think we mentioned it pretty much. There's the Weymouth game, is, like I said, it's massive for Weymouth to get 3 points if they want to stay up. Barnet v Halifax, obviously Barnet are in dire form. I think they're pretty much lost cause at this point, but Halifax is the sort of game that you think they want to get points against, even though Halifax are a good side. But I think we've covered every sort of game there, unless anyone wants to add anything else.
Do you just want to touch on your game with Chippenham, Josh?
I will do. Well, that's looking likely it won't go ahead, actually, because Chippenham have said that they don't want to play any more games this season. They're one of the National South clubs who are very for null and void. But we have said that we're looking to bring forward a game from later on in the season to be played on Tuesday. Obviously, there's no confirmation of it yet, and we don't know who it could be. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Fair enough, mate.
Right. If anyone else got anything to add?
Yeah, just one more thing.
Okay.
I really hope Torquay lose because I hate him.
Loving this content, Casey. Absolutely loving it, mate.
Red free. Rent free.
I think that's a good note to end on as well. So
Rent free.
I will say
Content.
Free.
Fucking content.
content. Thank you to the guys for joining us again. It's obviously couldn't do it without you. Thank you again for listening. If you made it this far, for watching, and for all the support you've given us recently. Don't forget to leave us any questions or feedback you have for us down below, or just message us on our social media, which will also be down below. And thank you again for watching, and we'll see you again soon for another non-league podcast.